Hello friends, my name is Saran. Today we will learn how to run Lambda locally using SAM CLI and Docker. I have seen many developers facing lots of problems in either running or debugging Lambda locally using SAM CLI, and they end up testing Lambda function code on AWS console, which is very time consuming. We will use three basic SAM CLI commands to invoke and debug Lambda and run API gateway locally in order to test our APIs. So kindly follow the steps which I will be showing you in this video. So before moving forward, you need to have AWS CLI, SAM CLI and Docker installed in your machine. You can check out the video description. I have provided you the download links. Okay. And the first thing you need to do is you need to go to your command prompt and you need to hit this command. And here you need to provide your AWS access key ID of your AWS account. Okay. And after that you need to provide your AWS secret access key of your AWS account. Okay, now you need to provide the region of your AWS account and you can provide the output format as in JSON. And you can always check out this credential by going to your user directory. There will be one folder AWS and in that there will be a file credential. You can open and check out your security credential in this file. Okay. So now we'll move on to our IntelliJ IDE. Okay, we need to create one Maven project, and in the pom.xml we need to have two dependencies: AWS Lambda Java events and AWS Lambda Java code. Okay, and you need to create one class which implements the request handler interface, and this interface should pass with one input and one output. The input here is in request class and the output here is in response class. Okay, and you can have any data type you want, as in string, map, anything you want, but for this example I have done a custom thing. So the custom in the sense I have just created my own class that is request and response, and I have given that as an input and output. Okay, so once you have the class which is implementing request handler, you need to override the handle request class, handle request method. Okay, and as I mentioned that I'm gonna give output as a response class, you need to give output as a response object here as well. Okay, and how we are going to do that is we are going to use the service class get response method, and we're going to pass the object of request class to the get response method. Okay, we will see in the request class I have one field of type string that is named body, and in the response I have three fields: body, headers and status code. And in the service class there is one method get response in which we are doing a deserialization of the body field which is present in the request class. Okay, so whatever the payload that we are going to send to the Lambda function will get deserialized and will be assigned to this field body. Okay, and we're gonna use that body field we're gonna use that body field value and we will deserialize to the basic user info class. Okay, and in the basic user info class we have three fields: first name, last name and contact number. Okay, and our payload will be in this format. There will be one key body and the value is going to be the same field that we have provided in the basic user info class: first name, last name and contact number. So there won't be any problem in deserialization. If at all there is a problem, we will send the response code status code as in 500. Okay, and we will return the response object. Okay, so now we need to create the SAM template. Okay, so you need to go to your project directory and create one template of type YAML. So this will be our SAM template, and the SAM template is same like in CloudFormation template. So what I'm going to do is copy and paste it over here, and you can always go and check out the SAM template design or learn from this Git repo how to create the SAM templates. Okay, I will provide the link in the video description. Okay, so now you should have a resources, and in that you need to have the logical ID of your Lambda function. It can be anything. You can just keep Lambda function or my Lambda function, anything you want. Okay, and it should be of type AWS serverless function. And in the properties you can there are n number of properties you can have. I will show you by searching this type. Okay, and in this documentation they have given, if you're providing type as AWS serverless function, you have this many properties in that type. Okay, you can use any of the properties, and it's not compulsory to use all, since you can see in the SAM template which I have used, I have not used all the properties because there are few properties which are not required. As you can see, assumed role policy document, it's not required, but if you look at the handler field, it is required, it's written, it's required. Okay, so you need to provide that. I will also provide the download link of this documentation in the video description. Okay, so now in the code URI, by default this code URI is pointing to a project directory. So this is my project directory. Okay, if you are not providing any value, it is by default pointing to my project directory. Okay, in the handler you should have the fully qualified name of the class which is implementing the request handler. So in my case there is a class lambda handler which implements the request handler interface. Okay, and obviously you need to provide a runtime as in Java 8, and you can provide the memory size of anything, any value you want. Okay, and here in the event you need to provide the event by which this lambda function will get invoked. So in our case we're gonna run the API gateway locally, so I need to mention it over here that there will be one resources, or you can say there will be one event of type API, okay, by which this lambda will be invoked, and once we access this path, okay, our lambda function will get invoked of and this is the method of type post. Okay, so now before running any command, you need to go to your terminal, and the first command you need to run is SAM build. Okay, you need to run this command first, and afterwards if you will see there will be one folder AWS SAM after you run this command. Okay, okay, so if you go to your project directory, there will be a folder of AWS SAM. Okay, so now so there is a quick note over here. Whatever changes you make in the template, you need to first run the SAM build command. Okay, and now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna create the jar of my project. Okay, and the jar will be created under the target folder. Go ahead and check it. Yes, it has been created. So now as we're gonna invoke a lambda, you need to point this code URI to the jar. So our jar is present in the target folder, so I will mention it over here, 0.jar. Okay, and make sure of the indentation. It is very important. If you just miss anything like this, if you just put any extra tabs, then there will be a problem. Okay, so now I will run one basic lambda SAM CLI command, that is SAM local invoke, and here you need to provide the name of your lambda function. Basically it's a logical ID of your lambda function. Okay, and now you need to provide the template, -t, your template name. Okay, and you need to provide your event file, event.json. okay, this file name, the event.json I'm providing over here, so it will consider this payload. And yes, if you want you can provide the region as well. Okay, so now in order to work this command, okay, you need to have Docker running in the background, or else this command won't work. Okay, I will hit enter, and it is decompressing a jar. Now within few seconds the container will start running. Okay, the container has been started. Now it will pass on the payload to the lambda function and it will give out the response. Yes, so in the response we have body and status code as 200. So deserialization happened. Okay, so as you can see in the class service, I have provided two response. One is body and status. In the body I have the object of basic user info that I have converted to string by calling toString method. Okay, so now what I'll do is I will run the API gateway locally and testing in the Postman. So the command is sam local start API. So this is the command to run the API gateway locally. Okay, so I will hit enter. Okay, so there's a endpoint given out. You can use this endpoint. Okay, okay, so it is already. I will just create new post, and in the body you need to provide the same field that is there in the basic user info class. So there is a first name, okay, last name, and contact number. So many typos. Okay, you can have any number. Okay, so now I will hit the API, and yes, I forgot, you also need to mention the template name. So I will control C, and I will terminate this, and I will start it again. Sam local start API. Need to provide the template name as well, template dot YAML. Okay, I will start again. Okay, now I will hit this API. Okay, so again in the background the jar is getting decompressed and Docker container will start. Okay, container has been started. Now we will get response. Yes, we are getting the response as expected. Okay, so now we have tested the API gateway locally. Okay, now you might wonder that in this file I have provided the input in a stringified form, but here I'm not providing as a stringified, I'm providing as in JSON. So what is the reason? So the SAM CLI assumes that your lambda is in lambda proxy. So okay, when it's in lambda proxy, and when you try to access the lambda through an API, okay, your lambda will get request in this format. This is the format. The request will go into your lambda if it's an lambda proxy, and by default the AWS SAM assume that it's an lambda proxy. So you can look carefully that I have only used one field, body, in my request class. I have not used any other fields. Actually it's not required for this use case, and you can always add these fields, okay, like resource, path, HTTP method if you want. Okay, so now I will terminate this as well. Okay, so now what we're going to do is we will start debugging a lambda code. So I will just put the debug points. Okay, and now what we're going to do is we will go to configuration. Okay, and okay, so I have created one. What you need to do is you need to, okay, I will delete this. Okay, so I will create from scratch, apply. Okay, what you need to do for debugging your lambda, you need to create a remote connection. So you need to go to remote, and you need to create a new configuration, and you can give any name you want. And here in the host you need to provide your Docker machine host, which is 192.168.99.100. You need to provide that 168. Okay, and let this port be 5005. Okay, I will apply and I will hit OK. So now what we're gonna do is we're gonna write a command to debug a lambda, that is sam local invoke. Now we need to provide the logical ID, and now you need to add one additional command, that is -d 5005. And when you're writing this -d and you're providing the port number, our Docker container will start in the debug mode. Okay, and you need to provide your template always, and you need to provide the event file and region as well. Okay, so now we will hit enter, and it's written lambda function not found, so I have misspelled that. I will correct that. Lambda function. Okay, so now we won't get any response over here, as a Docker container will start in a debug mode, and once it is starting in a debug mode, we need to attach the debugger. And make sure you have this configuration that I have showed you. The host should be your Docker machine ID and the port 5005. Okay, so now as you can see, there won't be any response because the Docker has been started in the debug mode. Okay, so what I'm gonna do is I will attach the debugger, and now it is connecting to that machine, and now our debug has been started. Okay, so this is how you can debug your lambda and run your lambda. Okay, so that's all for now. So if you like this video, please hit likes and subscribe to this channel. Okay, thank you.